Today I'm going to show you what I think the best high yield savings accounts are for March of 2025 and what I think the worst high yield savings accounts are. So one of my top rated ones is still the Wealthfront Cash account. Now the Wealthfront Cash account pays one of the highest, a 4% APY, and actually with my referrals, they boost it to 4.5%. I'll put a link in the description where you can get a 0.5% boost for 3 months also. That brings it up to 4.5% APY. There's zero account fees, no monthly minimums, so you don't have to do any direct deposits or anything crazy. Up to $8 million in FDIC insurance. Now this account is higher than most high yield savings accounts, and you also can you can do mobile check deposits. For the mobile check option, you do have to have at least $1,000 in average balance or higher, but everything else is free. What else I like about the Wealthfront Cash account is that the transfer limits are very high. So it has $250,000 in transfers. The mobile check deposit limit per month is $10,000. Now that's not that high, but they have a $250,000 transfer per day limit, which is very high, and FDIC insurance up to $8 million, which is higher than most. Now, there is a downside with the Wealthfront Cash account. It's not a bank. So although it's FDIC insured, it's pass-through coverage, so it's not as safe as going directly through a bank. Another one that I like that's not actually a bank is the Fidelity brokerage account. Now, the Fidelity brokerage account has an ATM card that's available. Although this account is not FDIC insured, like many people, I'm using the Fidelity Government Money Market Fund, which pays a high 7-day yield of 4%. So some of the highest rates, and Fidelity is one of the largest financial companies in the world, so I'm not worried about the risk. But you get an ATM card, but you're linked in with Fidelity where you can buy stocks and ETFs, and it has high transfer limits. For example, the Fidelity mobile check deposit has a deposit limit, at least on my account, of $100,000. So I could deposit up to $100,000. So I can deposit a check up to $100,000 with my phone. Most banks do not allow you to deposit that much with the app. Another one that I like that I haven't used is Synchrony Bank. Now Synchrony has a high 4% APY, no deposit minimum, no minimum balance, no monthly fees. You can also get an ATM card with this one. And the great thing about Synchrony is it's a bank, Synchrony Bank. So it's a member of the FDIC. And now, unfortunately, the mobile check deposit limit for Synchrony is only $2,000 per day, which is a little bit on the low side. Another one that I like is Lending Club. Now, Lending Club offers one of the highest APYs at 4.5% APY. But this does require a deposit of $250 plus per month. But I think this is manageable for most people, $250 plus. And it doesn't say that it has to be a direct deposit, so any sort of deposit. This Lending Club is FDIC insured. We scroll down here, Lending Club Bank. Lending Club Bank, member of FDIC. So it's a bank. Okay, so this is some of the highest rates, no fees, $0 minimum balance. This is looking pretty good to me. Okay, what are the worst high yield savings accounts? Now I'm listing CIT Bank as one of the worst high yield savings accounts, and it's not for the rate, it's for something else. Now I've had CIT Bank in the past, and they've had some of the highest rates, and as the rates have gone up, they've created separate accounts, so it would be something like another type of platinum savings account, but it'd be called something else, and they wouldn't pass the savings on to their customers. And also CIT Bank, to get the highest rates, you have to have a balance of $5,000 or more, and it has a $100 minimum opening deposit. So you have to put up a little bit more money, and you have to maintain a high balance. So that's one reason I don't like CIT Bank. Another one that I don't like is Capital One 360 Performance Savings. Now, I've had this account before. They also did the same thing. It's a sort of a bait and switch. It's a 3.7% APY now, which is not the highest. No monthly fees, no maintenance fees. But the problem is when the rates go up, if the rates go up in the future, they're not likely to increase the rates. And in fact, they were actually sued recently for this practice. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, CFPB, sued Capital One for cheating customers out of more than $2 billion in interest payments on savings. So that's why I don't like Capital One. Also, another one that I don't like for basically the same practice is UFB Direct. Now, UFB Direct is part of Axos Bank, and they've offered some of the highest rates in the past, 4.01% APY. But like Capital One, once you sign up, if the rate goes up, they're probably going to set up another account with a different name and offer that to new customers, whereas the existing customers won't get the rate boost. And I've seen them drop rates, so that's why I don't like UFB Direct. And like UFB Direct, the parent company Axos, now I'm not sure if they've done this. I'm assuming they probably have. Even though they offer 4.86% APY, like UFB, they don't have a very nice interface, and this one has a lot of requirements. This one requires $1,500 in monthly direct deposits in order to get the very bottom of the screen. It says right here, you have to have direct deposits of at least $1,500 by the 25th of each month and maintain an average balance of $1,500. So not only do you have to get the $1,500 each month, but you have to maintain it. And if you fail to do that, the rate drops all the way down to 1%. So I don't like that. Another high yield savings account that I don't like is the SoFi high yield savings account. Now it pays 3.8% APY, which is already lower than some of the others, but you can't even get this rate unless you meet a certain criteria. For example, you have to open a SoFi checking account along with the high yield savings account in order to get this, which is already more work. And when we scroll down and we look at the terms, you have to have $5,000 in deposits each month in order to get that rate, or have direct deposits each month. If you don't meet the criteria, guess what happens to the rate? If you don't meet the rate, the savings goes down to 1% and the checking goes down to 0.5%. And this is a separated account where you basically have to move money between the savings and between the checking and savings in order to get the highest rate. So very inconvenient. And they're very picky about what is considered a direct deposit, at least with the bonuses. So I don't like SoFi. Another one is Varo Bank. I like the Varo app. It's very quick. I like the website. It's very fast, but it does have some problems. Now, it says get up to 5% APY, but there's weird limits on this, and they haven't changed this. It's on up to $5,000, and it's anywhere from 2.5 to 5%. So anything over would only be 2.5%. So I don't like that. Also, you have to have received direct deposits of $1,000 or more in order to get the higher rate. And one positive change that came from Varo is they now are a bank. It used to be called Varo Money. Now they're actually a bank, so it's called Varo Bank. So it's FDIC insured. But because of the weird rate system, and their account is separated into a savings and checking portion, and so all the checking has to be done through the checking, and then to get the higher rate, you have to move to the savings. So it's very inconvenient. Also, I did a video in the past about the best savings account ratings, and I looked at all the ratings from the Better Business Bureau complaints. I looked at all the Better Business Bureau complaints and divided it by the number of assets. Varo Money, it was Varo Money at that time, this was about a year ago, had the highest percentage of complaints, even higher than Chime. So a lot of people still had complaints. Maybe it's gotten better, but why take the risk? Why take a chance? Okay, the last one, and probably my least favorite out of all these, is Chime. Now, I actually had Chime in the past, and they scammed me. They scammed me out of money, locked me out of the account for over a month, and I did a video on it. I had to do complaints with the CFPB, the Better Business Bureau, a bunch of different agencies, and they basically fraudulently lock accounts, and they were sued for that. They fraudulently lock accounts and say that the verification failed, and this is an intentional effort on their part, and they've actually been sued by it. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau took action against Chime Financial for illegally delaying customer refunds. That's what happened to me. So they were sued for that. So that's one reason that I don't like Chime, but another reason is it doesn't pay very much. If we look at the high yield savings account, it only pays 2% APY, which isn't very good. And they separate the high yield savings from the cash. So you get even less than that for the money that's sitting in the checking account. So I would avoid Chime at all costs. This is the one that I feel most strongly about that no one should basically use. So I hope you liked this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Press that like button. It really helps the channel. And feel free to comment below what you think the best or worst high yield savings account is. Have a good one.